Hi everyone, I cannot believe that this is the end of the year already, and a new year filled with our hopes and dreams is just a few days away. This setup is a very special one because it's a collaboration with Cristina from My Life in a Bullet. If you've been binging on amazing bullet journal videos, then there's no way you missed her. She is beyond talented and has such a wonderful personality. I'm so happy that I was able to work and share so much laughter with her. For this setup, we decided to pick the same theme and then use our creative freedom to interpret that theme any way we like. Our theme is called Winter Lights, so think along the lines of string lights, moon, stars, and candles, and anything else we want to add to that as long as it feels like the theme. I am so excited to see what she came up with. We haven't revealed with each other before these videos went live, so definitely check out her setup and give her some love along with me. I have all the links you'll need in the description down below. As I was planning out my theme, I started to fall in love with the moon and stars and the meaning behind them. And since January is a new beginning when we dream and make wishes to achieve all of our hopes and aspirations, I wanted to make this setup simply magical, even more so than any of my other setups. So I'm starting with this illustration of a polar bear and his friend the bunny sitting on the moon and quietly sending their wishes to the stars. I originally wanted this to be a muted dark blue with some black shadows for the winter sky, but ended up being variations of black instead, and it was a little scary seeing so much of it, but as I kept working on it, it started to look okay. Once I have the painting part complete, I am finishing with a few white speckles for the stars, and then once all the paint is dry, I'm going back in with my Micron, Jelly Roll White, and gold gel pens. This is the first time I'm using these pens and I love them, but they don't work very well on textured surfaces like this painting, so it keeps skipping. I originally wanted this as my cover page with the month January underneath the moon in white, but with the pen skipping, I am not even going to attempt it. Instead, I am keeping this as just another page in the journal as an illustration to depict the story of January. And then in the actual journal setup, I am redrawing this illustration as the cover page with my Micron and adding in gold details. Okay guys, you are going to laugh at this part. As I was adding in the gold, my hand smudged the ink because it takes a little longer to dry, so I just went ahead and smudged some other spots to balance it out, and it looks pretty good for what started as a mistake. I'll have the watercolor painting and my cover page in my shop if you guys are interested. You can find my Etsy link down below. Moving on to the next page, this is where the illustration is going to be. And then next to that is the mood of the month. This is the month of dreams. And then underneath that is such a great quote by one of our greats, Harriet Tubman. She says, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world." Next, we have our table of contents similar to my other setups. On the left, I am inking in snowy mountains and the northern lights, and then on the right, I decided to add in the phases of the moon and each section and description next to that. On top of the sections is another great quote, this one by Albert Einstein. He says, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand." I thought it was perfect for this month as a reminder to dream beyond what I think I am capable of and beyond what others are doing, to take this beginning opportunity to promise myself to work hard and try my best. Now we have my 3-month calendar spread with the title on the left, glance ahead, and then the current and next 2 months on the right. I have the string of lights and stars up top, tying the entire layout together, and then again with a mountain range along the bottom to set the scene. This layout works so well for me because I love being able to plan ahead and have an idea of the dates while I'm planning. Moving on to my monthly spread, the layout is pretty much the same as the very first one I did. Up top, I have the title and then more northern lights and stars as decoration. And then once I finish inking in my calendar, I'm adding in craft paper and writing out my goals for this month with the white jelly roll. My goals are to build my website, which I haven't because I need to build a collection of illustrations first, exercise 5 days a week, build my collection, finish my preliminary spreads for my book, and then to basically have more faith in others. Next is my drawing and fitness trackers or challenge. These are very simple, just 31 boxes on the days that I complete a drawing of any kind and days where I exercise or am eating well. I can fill in the boxes any way I like. I have images of the moon and stars throughout these 2 pages to tie it back in with the rest of the layout again, and then on the right is my page of milestones. I introduced this in my very first setup and I'm bringing it back for this one with the same 2 bunnies, but this time they are quietly making a wish to the stars. So if I hit a milestone or achieve any goals, small or large, I can just write them here, and this way I can look back and remind myself that I am moving forward or learning. And now finally I have my weekly setup. I decided to change this one because it was getting harder and harder to keep my to-do list short enough to fit in a box. So now I'm just going to ink the title page and leave 6 pages blank. As I go through the weeks, I'll just write out my lists and design the spreads then, which gives me a little more flexibility with how I want to set up each week. For the image, I wanted to continue the bunny and bear journey, so here they are, larger than life, in charge of placing the stars in the sky. And then underneath my title, I have a quote that I made up that says, "Build your sky 1 star at a time." I have to admit, this is hands down my favorite spread so far. I love the simplicity of the lines and layouts and just the way everything turned out. I definitely want to work on my calligraphy and loosen up a bit when I write, but so far, so good. After I finished my weekly spread, I decided to add a page of the moon phases and their meaning. I read this while I was working on my spread, and this is the reason why I fell in love with the moon and its symbolic meaning. I reinterpreted it for my journal so that it works with the theme, so this is not my original design, and I do not want to take credit for it. You can find the original in the links below. I hope that you reach all of your goals you set for 2018, and I wish you well on your journeys. Have a happy end of year and a wonderful and fulfilling new year. Remember to check out Christina's video and send her a lot of love from me. Thank you so much for watching, keeping up with me on Instagram, and your constant loving comments. I'll see you next time. Bye!